Versatile Mage. Chapter 4 Awakening of the Magic Elements. There were 20 different classes that would conduct the awakening. Mo Fan was number 48. He would be the last person to receive the awakening. The homeroom teacher, who was also their magic advisor, Zhu Musheng, was already standing at the very front. The awakening would be conducted in front of numerous people. The student's name was called out, and then they would go up front to place their hands on the awakening stone in front of the magic advisor. Hey, the one who entered through the back door, you're not gonna fail the awakening, are you? I heard that there are certain incapable people who fail the awakening. A dreg like you should just stop wasting the energy of the expensive awakening stone, said Zhao Kunsen, an old classmate of Mo Fan, from a different lineup. Zhao Kunsen was Mu Bai's henchman. Mu Bai personally didn't bully Mo Fan because of his background, so instead, he primarily used Zhao Kunsen to do it. It was actually possible for the awakening to fail, so Mo Fan was genuinely worried about this part. Strictly speaking, he was, a person who had crossed from a different plane. If his physical body was different from the people here, then that would be one hell of a joke. Brother Mo Fan, just ignore this joke. Wait until you awaken a fire element and show him. Then he'll know the meaning behind the phrase, look down on people with a dog's eyes, Zhang Hao, who was in the same class as Mo Fan, said. Mo Fan didn't say anything. If it were a different day, he would have thrown all sorts of insults at henchman Zhao Kunsen. However, he wasn't in the mood today. On one hand, it was because he was truly nervous. On the other hand, he didn't know why the black pendant he wore around his neck was incessantly shaking. The black-colored pendant was the remnant of the backdoor gatekeeper of his old middle school, Old Man Ying. Mo Fan suspected that this pendant was the reason behind the great changes in the world. That day, Mo Fan was wearing it when he fell asleep on the mountain behind his school. Ever since this morning, the broken pendant had been acting like it was possessed, constantly trembling. It shook so much that it made his own hand shake without stopping. Screw your mother, why do you keep shaking? You're just a stupid pendant, so why aren't you acting like the pendant you are? Mu Bai, the homeroom teacher, Zhu Musheng, called out. Oh, so that's Mu Bai. He is indeed very handsome, and his grades are the top as well. Yeah, I saw him this morning. I like it. I wonder what kind of element he'll awaken. I reckon it won't be crap elements like water or light, will it? Mu Bai stood up and immediately heard a few girls in his class chattering incessantly about him. At the same time, he also attracted starry-eyed infatuations from other classes. Mu Bai wore an indifferent expression. His eyes, however, revealed that he was enjoying others discussing him. He walked to the front and stood before the homeroom teacher, a humble and confident smile on his face. Mu Bai, you're from the Mu family, who is renowned for their ice element, right? Zhu Musheng asked with a slight smile. Precisely. Good. If you awaken the ice element, then you will be superior compared to others. However, don't forget to put in effort too. After all, talent isn't the decisive aspect of everything. Mu Bai nodded, but thought to himself, yes, talent can't decide everything, but without talent and family resources, one would have to live forever at the bottom of society. With permission from the homeroom teacher, Mu Bai slowly placed his hands on the floating awakening stone. A thick, star-shaped compass emerged, along with a clear palm print on the awakening stone. Mu Bai seemed tranquil, but his heart was nervous as he placed his hands on the awakening stone. Thanks to his bloodline, the possibility of him awakening the ice element was very high. However, there could also be exceptional circumstances. If he awakened the water or light element, then the Mu family was unlikely to continue attaching any importance to him. After all, there was no way they would waste their finances to find resources suitable for a different attribute. He placed his left hand on the stone. The awakening stone suddenly emanated a starry radiance. This radiance turned into strips of star marks that appeared to be extraordinary veins as they landed on Mu Bai's left hand. This was everyone's first time seeing the awakening with their own eyes. The students were all tiptoeing as they watched Mu Bai. Mu Bai was standing there unmoving, as though he was suddenly enlightened. He then raised his head slowly. Creak, creak, creak. A sudden frosty air curled itself around the awakening stone. The air became denser and denser. It actually began to slowly freeze the surface of the awakening stone, forming a layer of frost. Ice element. It really is the ice element. Suddenly, a person behind him began yelling. Following this yell, a few girls screeched. As Mu Bai heard the noises, he opened his eyes in joy. It's actually the ice element. With the ice element, it will be easier for me to be accepted by the Mu family. The day where I soar through the skies is not far. To deal with someone like Mo Fan, the dreg of society, would be like pinching an ant to death. That's not right. After awakening the ice element, I will become an official disciple of the Mu family. There is no reason for me to lower myself to the level of a beggar. I need to set my standards higher. Who knows? I might even have an opportunity to cultivate together with Mu Ningzhu. Very good. It is a very pure ice element. I believe an ice element stardust should be appearing within your spiritual world. Cultivate harder, and make it grow even stronger. The homeroom teacher said, with eyes full of praise. The ability to freeze the awakening stone during the awakening meant that the power of his ice element surpassed that of the average person. He was likely to be a very talented ice element apprentice, and his future was very promising. Next, Chu Yuying. After the homeroom teacher said this, a girl with a somewhat confident look on her face came over. All right, Earth element. The power of your stardust isn't bad at all. It seems like the effort you've put in is showing. Next, Zhu Qinglan, also ice element. At this moment, Mo Fan tiptoed to watch. He discovered that the person who also awakened the ice element, Zhu Qinglan, caused a layer of faint frosty mist to emerge. It did not freeze the awakening stone, though. From this, one could tell that even if this was the ice element, Zhu Qinglan's talent and cultivation were much lower than Mu Bai's. Next, Lu Shaoing. Water element. Oh my god, how could I be water element? I should be a fire element. Suddenly, the classmate called Lu Shaoing exclaimed in bewilderment. The people within the circumference of 100 meters heard this. Don't be discouraged. No matter what element you cultivate, as long as you can become an intermediate level mage, you will obtain even more recognition. Lu Shaoing had no other choice. He could only return to his own seat in low spirits. In fact, the awakening in the beginning was very important. If it was a fire element, then one could possess a certain level of combat prowess as a primary level magician. That allowed future cultivation to happen much more easily. The primary level water element skill was Water Shield, and its defensive power was not as strong as the earth element. If one was not proficient in it, then the effects were not very clear. At the very least, that's how it worked among primary rank mages. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.